Okay, so this is how you change the Lift EZ into the Lift EZ R. The first thing that you're going to need to do is have a look on your C risers. On your C risers is the end stabilizer line that goes to the end of your wing. I've already removed it here. I'll show you how it's put back on when we get there. But essentially it was sitting on here. I unscrewed that. I undid that plastic piece on the end here, pulled this off, disconnected the stabilizer line, put it all back on in exactly the same order that it came off, and then tightened this back up again. When you're tightening these nuts, you want them to be good and solid. You don't want them to come off. But on the flip side of the coin, you also don't want to damage the threads trying to make it too tight. But Loctite, always a good plan. So this stabilizer line is now being detached from the C risers. When we put it back on, we're not going to put it, sorry, this is the B riser, not the C riser. So we detach the stabilizer line from the B riser. When we put it back on, we're not going to put it on the B riser again. We're actually going to put it on the C riser when we put it back. So it's moving one back from the B onto this maneuverable C here. So following the stabilizer line, you'll see here that this one line connects to every single one of these other lines. These are the lines that we'll be modifying. We're not changing anything else on the wing, we're only affecting these lines on the end here. Just be careful, you'll see here we've got some brake lines and that slip on the side there that allows it for wingtip steering. Just get those out of the way and ignore them. It's nothing that we're going to be worrying about there. Next, if you have a look at this tight knot here, come a bit closer. If you have a look at this tight knot here, you can see here that to remove this, all you got to do is push these two apart. And then I'm going to pull this through. And off comes this green stabilizer line. And this is now completely loose, and I'm just going to put it over to one side. These lines now are all completely separate, and we're able to start swapping them out. Having a look at the instructions that they've got here. So the A's on this side, the B's on the the D's on the bottom. A obviously being the front leading edge of the wing where the cells are, and D's the rear of the wing where you've got your brake lines. You can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 highlighted numbers here of the 7. That one's not highlighted. These are all those wingtip lines, and this is what we're going to be changing. So this is the front of the wing, this is the back of the wing, and right here this 0, 0 is the center of the wing. In other words, we're going to be following these on both the left hand side of the wing and the right hand side of the wing and changing it there. So as I hold this, looking at my wing with the cells on the top there, I can see, and it's actually the wrong way around now, it should be that way, but I can see that the very top of the wing, the A, on the tip should be 1080. So having a look at the wing here, and this is one of the first things that might cause a bit of confusion, you'll see that there's 3 lines here, there's 3 lines here, and there's 4 lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, looking at the instructions, 1, 2, 3, starting from the top of the wing, where the cells are, that 1080, on the very tip. So even though this is the first line, and in fact is what's referred to as A there, this is the first line and referred to as A when you move one line in. So they don't line up, that's what I'm basically saying. It's not all the A's are in line, all the B's are in line, that's not the case. You basically start on the edge of the wing. The line closest to the open cell side is the A. So this is my A, this is my B, this is my C, there is no D, and you can see that on the instructions. There's an A, a B, a C, and there's no D. Next row in, there's an A, B, C, and D, and we can see that here, A, B, C, D. So let's swap out the first one. It's going to be changed to a 1080. With the stuff that I received, I got these lines, so I go through little tags and I look for the 1080. If necessary, you can always measure these things if you get them mixed up, but I've been very careful not to get the tags mixed up and always tighten them back onto the string when I'm finished. I've done the other side of the wing already. When I'd taken one of the lines out, I carefully put the other one back into its bow so that I wouldn't lose it. So here's my 1080, which is going to be on the extreme outside edge of the wing, closest to the top. This one here. Let's push this through. Take that off and put it somewhere out of the way where you're not going to get mixed up. And then 1080, 1080. Don't pull it through on the loop side because you don't want to pinch that loop. These lines don't like being pinched tightly, so we want to take it out the other way. I'm actually done with that one now because the other side's already done. So here's my 1080 line. I'm going to take this, I'm going to put it over, and let's try and match it up to that one. I'm going to put it over, and then going to run this through. I've actually got it the other way. Come on. Straight. There we go. And let's just turn this over so it's as flat as possible when it gets pulled in and locked. There we go. There's my first line replaced. Done. Move that out the way. Now we're on to still heading down the outside. We've now done the 1080. We're going to do the double 100, which is this middle one here. So off she comes. I'm going to hang on to these lines for a while, just in case. So I'm putting them all together. I can figure out what they are after the fact by measuring them if I need to use them again. Straighten that out. Okay, so the next line is going to be a double 100. So we're going to have a look. Here we go. There's a double 100. Loosen that a bit. Grab one of these lines, pull it out. Give that a pinch again. On goes the double 100. Same story as before. Put it over. Take the other end. Push it through. Just knock out all these kinks. Done. The next one done. So that's 1, 2. Next one is double 165. There we go. Double 165. Just pull out that. I'm now done with this ribbon. Let's get that out of the way. Double 165. Oh, I hadn't taken this off yet. Put that where it won't get mixed up. Off this one comes. Throw that out of the way where it won't get mixed up. And on goes this one. Oh, no, not that one. this one. And we're good. That's the outside 3 lines done. Now we're on to the next ones. Move those out of the way. So starting again at the A, which is at the top, next row in, which is the second row, 1165. The first line is not highlighted. We're not actually changing anything on that, so we move that out of the way. We're on to the second line, which is going to be 1100. So let's find us a 1100. There's our 1100, and let's pull this out. Finished with that. Once again, I haven't taken it off first before I did it, so let's put that out of the way, and let's get this one off. Okay, that one's off, get it out of the way, and let's replace it with this one. Goes over the top, and the end goes through. Done. That one's done. Next up, done the first one, done the second one, now it's a 1145, which will be the third row back. This time let me remember to do the removal first. Does make life easier. One thing you want to be careful of is getting confused about what line goes where. Again, if you have to, you can measure them, but it's much easier just to do them one at a time and be careful. Okay, throw that out the way. So the third row back is going to be 1145. 1145. Loosen that. Do this. Okay, put it over the top. So over the top, and then that goes through the loop. Without kinking it, let's get a nice sort of figure 8-ish there. That one's done. We're on to the last one. The last one's going to be 1270. This is the last line to be done. Yeah, that'll be the 1270. Let's remove this. Way. Here comes our last one. So over the top, and then run that through. And be nice to it when you're finishing it off so it doesn't kink. Not there. So these are all done. Next on the agenda is take a pen with a cap on it. You can bend the cap open a little bit. Starts on the bottom here. Let's just drag these over and out the way. And we're just going to feed these things onto the pen one at a time. So here she goes, starting at the back, roughly in the sequence that they sit on the canopy. There we go. 2, 4, 6, 7. We good? All of them line up. All the new lines are on. Now what we need to do is put that green stabiliser line back on. I can figure out what I did with it. There we go. So, that's why you have a cap on so it doesn't run away from you. Generally speaking, if you check two sides, one of them will be stretched bigger than the other one. The bigger one is the one that would have been on here before, so I'm going to use that side again. Open it up even more. Then I'm going to take all these lines. I'm just going to shape them a little bit on here to make it easier when I do this. And take the pen out. This goes over the top like that, and then you run the other end of the line through the middle. Again, just be nice to it when you finish. Here we go. Give it a good pull, and we're good. That's that reattached. Next thing we're going to need to do is put it back onto the risers. Now, if you have a look at this piece of paper, the stabilizer line was on the B riser. You can see they've highlighted both the B and the C, and it now shows the stabilizer being on the C riser. So we took it off the B, we're going to put it back onto the C now. Okay, let's just put this one side, that's out the way, pick all of this up. Oh. Pick all of this up, just get everything sort of roughly figured out. Definitely a fan of check 5 times, do it once, rather than check once, do it 5 times. So one thing to worry about is the brake line and whether the brake line is going to be over or under. So I am making sure that the brake line is on the outside, and this is the wingtip steering, sorry, not the brake line. That's going to be on the outside. There's my stabilizer line. You can see on the wing itself, it's all nice and loose and neatly laid out. And then back onto here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to catch my C's like this, and I'm ready to attach this line onto it. Of course I am tangling up stuff under there. It's going to be fun to get sorted out later, but we'll worry about that later. So there. Out the way. Hang on, let's recheck this again. So that's what I just tangled up now. Let's get it untangled. Right, so here's my A's. Here's my B's, my wingtip steering, and this is the C. And I'm going to take this line and I'm going to put it on the inside of the wingtip steering and attach it on to my C's here. Pull this over to the side, and this is the same process I used to take it off the B's as well. Just need to get that rubber over the end. Don't use pliers of any kind to do this, because if you do, you'll wreck the rubber. Goes over the top. Take that. There we go. Done. Now we tighten this back on. Grab the pliers up, there we go, and give it a good crank down. Not so much that you'll damage it, but you definitely don't want these things coming off. And I'll probably put some Loctite on it at a later stage as well, just to keep that done. And then let's just check the lines again. A's, B's, wingtip steering, and got the C lines, which now have my stabiliser line attached. And it's all done.